Code Explained says hi. So in today's part, we're going to be able to rename project. So when I click on the pencil, this icon here shows up. If I click on it, a modal opens up on this form where I can type in the name or the new name of my project. So if I click, for example, or if I type in, for example, something, and I click on confirm, you can see that the work project is now something. So also when, for example, I click on personal here and I have some to-dos under that project. If I rename the personal project to personal, then like dash, then something. For example, if I click on confirm, you can see that all the to-dos under the project are now under the project personal something. And also if I click on other here and then I change the name of the project other to other one, you can see that the name of the project also changes here. So let's go and see how to code this. So renaming a project is just updating a document in our Firestore database. So again, I'm gonna say we are using Firebase or Firebase as a backend. We have set up our cloud Firestore product. We've created a database and some collections there, to-dos and projects. And then we created some docs, which are just our to-dos and our projects. Now to update a document, I'm gonna need to import Firebase. Then I'm gonna go and say firebase.firestore.collection, and the collection could be to-dos or projects. Then the doc I want to update. This takes in the doc ID, so just the ID of the doc. And now after I have a reference of my doc, I can go and use the update method. So this is how you update a document using the update method. And this takes in an object because a document is just an object. And then the name of the field you want to change. In our case, the name of the field we want to update when renaming a project is going to be the field name, and then the value, of course. So that's how you update a document, and that's how we're going to rename a project. So we need to go to our folder components and then to our component rename project. So here when I click on this edit icon, this modal shows up and this form shows up. The JSX that is responsible to render this form here is this code here, so which is inside our rename project. So when this form here submits, we call this function handle submit. So when the user type in the new name and click on confirm, we just go and run a function called handle submit. So from inside our handle submit function, we're gonna need to prevent defaults. So when I click on this, I don't want to reload my page, and then I will call my function rename project, which is a function we're going to create in a minute. So this function here takes in a project, which is the project we want to rename. So this is an object which has an ID, a name, and number of to-dos. So I just want you to know that this name here is going to be called the old project name. And this here is going to be the new project name, the name that the user typed in to rename its project or the project. And then here I'm going to go and set show modal to false to close the modal. Now let's go and talk about what's going to go inside our rename project. So here we need first to check if a project already exists before renaming that project. So for example, if I go and click on this button here, the modal will show up with personal already typed in. If I change this to work, if you can see that work already exists, if I click confirm, I don't want my app to go and rename this to work because work already exists. So in that case, when I click on this, I'm going to show project with the same name already exists. So here, my function rename project will take in the project object and the new project name, which is just a string. So here I'm gonna go and use my project's collection reference, which I need to create here. So just gonna say Firebase Firestore collection projects, and also we need to create a reference to my to-dos collection. So here I'm gonna use a where clause. In this case here, for my where clause, I want to check if a project already exists with the new project name or not. So I'm just gonna go and look into my projects collection for the projects that their name field is the same as the new project name. And then I'm gonna get all those projects, and then I'm gonna get a query snapshot. I'm just gonna check if the query snapshot is empty. That means I don't have a new project there with the new project name. So I'm just gonna go and update my project. But if it's not empty, if my query snapshot is not empty, I'm just gonna alert project with the same name already exists. And then else, I'm just gonna go and use my reference here to my projects collection, and then I'm going to create a reference to my doc using the project.id, and then I'm going to use my update function. Here I'm going to pass in an object, and then the field I want to change is name, and I'm going to change that to new project name. Now if we have already some to-dos under the project we are renaming, we need to update all those to-dos. So we're gonna add a then method here, and then we need to update all the to-dos under the old project name. So we need to change those to-dos project name to the new project name. So here the old project name is just project.name. So I'm just gonna go and destructure the project here. I'm gonna get the name property, and I will call it old project name. So this makes our code more readable, so when someone comes and read our code, when he sees new project name and old project name, he knows what we are doing. So let's go now and update our to-dos and switch to a new project. So when the user clicks on edit, for example the personal project, and rename this project to something else. Now if you can see here at the background that the personal is the selected project. If I click on confirm, the personal project is not anymore there, it's renamed to something else. So we need to switch back from the old project name to the new project name. And also we need to rename or change the project name of all those to-dos and the old project name to the new project name. So I'm gonna append a then method there. I'm gonna use my to-dos reference, my to-dos collection reference, and then I'm gonna use a where clause again because I need just the to-dos that their project name is the same as my old project name. I'm gonna get those, and then I'm gonna get a query snapshot. So I'm gonna use a for each because a query snapshot is an array of all the docs of all the to-dos that verifies this condition here. I'm gonna go and get a reference to my doc and then use the update method. This takes in the object and then the field you want to change, which is the project name, and then I'm gonna set this to the new project name. And this is how we will update all the to-dos project name to the new project name. Now after that, I'm gonna need to check if the old project name, the project I am renaming, is the same as the selected project. If it's the case, I need to set selected project name to the new project name. So I don't want to keep the selected project be the old project name. I want to make it now be the new project name. So that's it for the logic part. Let's go now and see this in action. So again, we need the files from the last part, the part 20. I'm gonna go and grab the link to that part and then paste it in down-git. Once you download the folder, go into that folder, run npm install, and then you're good to go. If you already have the files, don't do this. So I'm gonna go here and rename my work. So if I click on confirm, if I rename this to work 1, click on confirm, my page just reloads. So now I'm gonna go and open my text editor and then go to the components folder and then rename project. So here I'm gonna go to my handle submit function, and I'm gonna go and prevent default first. So I want to prevent my page from reloading, and then I'm gonna call my function rename project with project and new project name, and then I'm gonna set show module false to close the module. Now I'm gonna go and create my function rename project, and I'm gonna use an arrow function. This takes into arguments the project object and the new project name string. And then I'm gonna go and create a reference to my projects collection. So I'm gonna use Firebase. So I need first to import Firebase. So firebase.firestore.collection, and it's gonna be projects. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for my to-dos collection. And then I'm gonna go and destructure my project object, and I'm gonna call the name property old project name. Now I'm gonna go and use a where clause and look for all the projects that their name is the same as the new project name. And then I'm gonna get those projects. Then I'm gonna get a query snapshot. If that query snapshot is not empty, I'm gonna go and alert project with the same name already exists. So else, if it's not empty, or if it's empty, I'm gonna go and update my doc. So I'm gonna get a reference to the doc using the project.id, and I will use the update method. And I'm gonna update the field name with the new project name. So I'm gonna save and go and check if this works. So I'm gonna go and rename work from work to work1, confirm, and you can see that it has been changed or renamed. Now I'm gonna go and do the same for personal, but personal here has some to-dos. I'm gonna change this or rename this to personal 1. If I click on confirm, the name of the project has been renamed, but these didn't change. So we need here to update our to-dos also after updating the name of the project. So I'm gonna go and use my to-dos reference, and I'm gonna use a where clause. I'm gonna look for the project name where the project name is the same as the old project name. I'm gonna get those to-dos. So the query snapshot here is going to be an array. So I'm going to use a for each method. So for each doc, I'm going to go and get a reference to the doc and then update the to-do or the doc. So the project name is going to be the field we're going to update to the new project name. I'm going to hit save, and then let's try this. I'm going to rename this back to personal, and then I will go and rename it now to personal 1. If I do that and confirm, you can see that the name of the personal 1, the personal has been changed, and these also all updated. Now if I click on personal 1, and then I'm gonna go and rename it to personal 2, if I click on confirm, you can see that we have changed all personal 2, but we are still showing personal 1. So let's go and add the code to switch or to set the selected project to our new project name. So I'm going to use an if statement. So if the selected project is our old project name, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to set selected project to the new project name. Here we need first to bring in the selected project and our set selected project using context. So I'm going to use I'm going to destructure my context here. So use context, then it's going to be our to-do context. So we need to bring in our to-do context first. We're going to import to-do context from our folder context, and we're good. So now I'm gonna hit save, and then if I go and rename personal to personal and click on confirm, now you can see it has been changed to personal, and then all the to-dos were updated. And that's it for our today's part. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned new things. Take care and see you in the next one.